All right, we're going to get started here. I'm going to go over and mark up some charts. I'm going to go over and mark up some charts here before we get started here for the week. We are expecting some gap up here at open just because of the news that Trump reached as a trade deal with Xi in China. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, expecting a gap up there. So yeah, expecting a gap up there at open. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark out the week high and low, and then we can see where that gap is. Oh, good grief. Okay. So we did kind of end the week here on NQ as a doji, but again, because of the trade news over the weekend, we're probably going to get a gap up here at open. Let's see. So there's NQ. We'll do ES on this side. So this green dotted line is a previous line I had for um for a target. So I'm betting we open somewhere around in there. Maybe the 58.36, which would be a heck of a gap, but it's possible. Down? I don't know why it would. We would have to have an outside week for it to be down, which means it comes all the way up here, then all the way back down to take out the previous week's low. I don't see that happening. I can't say what it'll do, but I don't know why it would. Um, yeah, I don't know why it would go down. We're gonna open up above probably 5,800 or somewhere around maybe 58. If I had to guess, we'll open somewhere around here around 57.75 up to 57.93, maybe 58.37 on ES. So down, no. We've already gone up even before we open. Um, just based on the gap up. Okay, so that's that. Let me make sure these are synced. Yeah, sync and layout. Okay. Okay, I don't know why my CFTC rule thing is not showing, but let me find it because you need to see it. Okay, there we go. We'll just do it this way because I can't tell what OBS is doing. So there you go. You have to see this. None of this is financial advice. It's all hypothetical. Simulated performance results, yada, yada, yada. But here, I showed you this. Now I did my due diligence on that. Um, okay. So, by the way, I am running a Windows virtual machine on my Mac at the moment. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to run Quant Tower tonight, and so I mean I just like to run Quant Tower as well. But yeah, so I'll have this up as well. Probably throw Trading View on another screen, and then I can see Quant Tower as well. Let's see. I don't know how to do. The only thing is I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do the weekly high and low thing on Quant Tower. I may have to try to figure that out here real quick. One thing I am going to do, I'm going to step away for just a hot second and get a bottle of water. I'll be right back. Okay, we'll see how long it takes Quant Tower to open here. It shouldn't take too long. I was just on it earlier today. Yeah, a virtual machine runs way faster than any desktop that I've found. So I've got this one Apex account close to passing. Try to get that passed here, and then also let's see, need to connect that. Okay, all right. Yeah, because at some point tonight, I'm also gonna trade my wealth charts accounts. If and when I copy trade, I only copy trade a couple accounts at a time because I just don't like the fact that if you make a mistake, it's just devastating to your whole to all of your accounts. If I'm gonna screw up, I'd rather just screw up on one or two versus all of them. So, um, yeah. But I actually went with a 25K there on Apex the other day. On wealth charts, I've got on wealth charts I got 150K and two 250Ks. So again, at some point I will trade those tonight. Uh, then we've got a Bullinox account that about halfway past with that. Um, this one I am copying to one day trader's account just because they were running a really nice sale, so I grabbed an account over there as well. But my main prop firm, and I'm pretty loyal to them, is Apex. So they are still running that 80% off sale. I think you got like another 10 days. If you want to use my code, it's Blues Trades. That'll get you 80% off right now. And they're running also a special on those larger accounts, so 150 to 300Ks. And but yeah, I grabbed the wealth charts because they were 90% off at the time. So $16.70, kind of hard to pass up on those. So let's see here. Let's see if I can get the week to show here on um here on Quant Tower. I just don't feel like Quant Tower gives me enough information as far as like maybe if I do that. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, because I like to see previous areas that we've visited. Um, just for the simple fact that a lot of times we will revisit those. So I like to see where those areas are. Oh, I kind of like this. I kind of like the way this shows. Yeah, that's nice actually. And you know what? I'm gonna unbind this and take some of this out. I want to leave the 4 hour on. Let's just do this. Let's take some of this out here. Run that shorter. I don't need a 1 minute. Apologize. I probably should have already had some of this done, but kind of on the fly here, and I wasn't expecting to do that. So here we go. Yep. So we opened around where I was thinking we would, some around 57.75. Of course, getting a little bit of pullback there. Expected with, especially with the gap up. I am not going to trade this just yet. Experience says that I don't do so well with that. I might as well just let it kind of digest a little bit and pick a direction. I mean, again, we've already gapped up, so two up on the week. Sorry, excuse me, two up on the week. So they'll probably just ping pong it here until they pick a better direction to figure out if we're going to continue that two up or if they will bring it back inside a little bit. So yeah, so we'll just have to see what happens here. Um, but not going to get involved in this. Just gonna let it digest a little bit here. Um, I do want to get this account passed, obviously, before the week is over. That should be no issue. I'm only about $500 away from passing that. And like I said, on the Bullinox one, I'm about 1,500 away. But again, that's fine. So yeah, just gonna let it digest here, see what happens, and go from there. Um, I do trade a system called the Strat that was created by Rob Smith, and as he would say, let them open. So just gonna kind of let this open here and see if they pull it back a little bit more or they continue its march to the upside. And I mean, because we've got this volume imbalance here that covers from 5707 up to about, let's see where we opened, about 5763. So don't know if they will come back and fill that volume imbalance, or again if they will break up here and then up and hit this target eventually here of 58 to 37 would be my initial target here to the upside. But yeah, just gonna let this digest, and we'll see where we go from here. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to type it in chat. I'll try to answer it the best I can. Sometimes it's hard for me not to get involved in the open, but just, experience says I need to wait. Oh, hey, Wendy, I appreciate you tuning in. So I know since you're trying to understand the strat, this week open would be considered a two up, but right now it is red. Um, but since we gapped up, that is considered a two up. Now, if it continues its march up, that would turn into a green two up, and it would leave this volume in balance. Obviously that's an ICT thing, but yeah, so we've got a volume imbalance regardless, no matter what happens. But yeah, so the strat calls this a two up. Right now is what the strat calls a failed two. It is because it is two up but red. Which even though it's up, it tends to be bearish, but as we know, I mean, here's your volume imbalance all the way down here to '07. On ES, so 5707. On NQ, your volume balance is all the way down here, about 300 points. Um, I, have noticed a ton on NQ that if we open 200, sometimes we'll go 400 to 600 on the day, positive. Um, I'll show you where I get that from. That's from here. So we opened up about 300, almost what? Um, 20,483 is where we opened. So yeah, we opened up over 300 points because we're up 300 now. So excuse me, almost 400 points open. But trade deal says that it was bullish and we were considering a gap up to start the week. Again, if you look here, I'll zoom in. I marked the previous week high and low in orange. Just because I like to see where that is. There is a volume balance here from 20,445 down to 20,333. We did fill that at open, so we'll just have to see if it comes back to touch that, or if it continues its march to the upside there. And this would be my target at 20,541. Now, again, I'm not getting involved in this. I want to see how this plays out. I may drip some orders down here to go long. Because again, we have bullish orders. So um, I am expecting them to come fill these, fill this at some point. But again, this is a bullish run. So anything that comes back is probably just a backfill. I'm sure there's some stop orders in here. and they'll need to fill those orders at some point. The problem is with this, you don't know where it's going to fill, or if it's when, or if they're going to come back and fill this. Expectations are that they will come back and fill this area, this gap, but I mean, there's no guarantee on when that happens. We are in this wick range. If any of you watch Trades by Matt, of course I figured this out long before he ever said anything, or at least before I ever heard him say anything. But yeah, so sometimes I will draw a fib on the wick to the body of the candle, just to see about where they might start filling some of those orders. But yeah, so somewhere around 20,292 all the way down to 20,242, or 238, somewhere around in there. Any of these areas, they could start um, taking some orders back long. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, it's my expectation is that they're probably going to come back and fill this area at some point during the night, and then continue back to the upside. All right, so I've got some orders out there pending. So any backfill there will pick up those orders to go back long. Um, I will, and then I would probably sell somewhere around in here, around the 56.64. They give me about 40 points of upside there on ES. I need to look at NQ on the weekly. Hey, what are you doing over there? What is wrong with you? Stop it. Okay, let me tend to something. I'll be right back. Don't eat the paper plate, silly. Come on, Nova. So yeah, so I can kind of watch the Dom a little bit and figure out about where they might put some orders to buy. Um, right now it's just tight. So again, I'm not interested in getting involved in that. Um, I kind of hate gaps in a way because you just you're just kind of at their mercy of when they're gonna come back and either fill it or just continue back to the upside or the downside sometimes. But yeah, I kind of hate gaps sometimes. If I'd have been on a smaller time frame there, probably could have got about 5 6 points there on NQ. But again, I don't like gaps for that reason. Just again because you just don't know when they're gonna come back and fill it. Trying to do the math here. If I got involved in one micro and they came back and filled it, what does that look like? But it's about 100 points roughly. So 100 times 2, yeah, it's gonna be about $200. Um, that I would be down just if they come back and fill that gap. So I'm either gonna have to go to a much smaller time frame or just continue to watch the Dom here and watch the orders come in. This is a 25K account, so I've only got a little bit of leeway, and I certainly do not want to blow that. Now on the wealth charts, I got tons of leeway. So, but again, I mean, if I took a mini, that's 2 grand. If they decide to come back and fill that gap there on NQ on a mini, with ES, you're looking at about 57, 52, down about 30 points, 30 times 50. What? 1,500? Is that right? Um, yeah, 3 times 5, 15. Yeah, so about 1,500 bucks on a mini there. If you do a mini to the short side and they come back and fill that gap, you're risking about 20 points either way on ES. Um If you think they might come out and buy back to the upside, the high of tonight where we opened, you're about 20 points from there. You're about 20 points to the downside for them to fill the gap. So, I mean, it's a 1-to-1 risk, but um, you just don't know when or if they're going to come fill the gap. So I would much rather, like I've done, set the orders to go back long if and when they dip it. So yeah, kind of a waiting game at the moment for me. Again, I mean, if I went to a smaller time frame, probably could trade it no problem, but don't know that I want to risk it right now. Oh, I didn't put any orders there out on NQ. Oof, 279 to 214ish there on just from that body to wick. I might would do a micro in there, but not a mini. Switch to a 2 minute here and see if I can see any. Well, we're in this mother bar range for sure here on NQ. Risk. I'm gonna risk one. I think risk about 6 points. All right, that works for me. All right, I'm out. It's about $75 right there. 80. It's not my target, but my target's gonna be right here. The four about 10 points, about 428. We'll see if it goes. Uh, but yeah, just a little scalp right there, $80. I'm just trying to be more risk averse these days than I was before. Um, I mean, as you know, with Apex, you got to take your profits quickly. 28 hit, so that would have been my target. I just said it was 28, so it hit. It definitely hit it. So you can see if we continue a little more to the downside there. What I should have done was put in the order here to fill there at 28, but I didn't. So the other thing too, obviously, I've fought this whole time with trading is over trading, thinking I needed to take every setup, and that's just not the case. Um, so yeah, but obviously we went above the 28 target, so we're down to oh 08, oh 05 area now on NQ. ES is down to 57.41. Um, so yeah, be interesting to see if they start buying, some orders through this area. Um, Previous areas of liquidity here on ES 57.43. Pricing research high. Nice to meet you. Appreciate you tuning in. So I mostly trade the strat created by Rob Smith. I learned a lot from Sarah Strat Sniper. Um, but I was friends with Rob, so I also learned quite a bit from him. And then um, I have adopted like three ICT concepts as far as the volume imbalance goes, liquidity, and fair value gaps. Those are the only three ICT concepts that I use. Um, and but that's so I pretty much combine the strat with like three of those ICT concepts, and you know, it's really transformed my trading a lot. The only thing that's held me back mostly in trading is emotions and external factors going on that I'll let affect me emotionally. rushing through trades, thinking I had to take every setup rather than just being patient and waiting for it to come. All those things that traders do. So, oh, I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel, please. It helps me out a lot. And then also, the best way to support my channel is to use my Apex code Blues Trades. That'll get you 80% off of Apex right now. This bar is almost gone to the outside here on the 2 minute. Um, and an outside bar in the strat takes out both sides of the previous candle. In fact, it has. We've gone outside here on the 2 minute. Be interesting to see if they come back and basically touch um the bottom of the mother bar that we're in. So a big part of my trading, and Rob made a video on it, is called Trading Inside a Mother Bar. You can look that up on YouTube. It's called Trading Inside a Mother Bar by Rob Smith. And maybe on Sepia Group's YouTube channel. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a big part of my strategy. I try to find the mother bar that we're in and then trade that range within that mother bar. Um, a mother bar is also a three, but not always. Uh, had somebody argue with me that concept one time, and turns out I was right. I'm a Sagittarius. We're almost always right. But anyway, um, yeah. So a th- a mother bar doesn't always have to be a three. A lot of times it is, but it doesn't have to be. So this is considered a mother bar. We're in this range here, and we'll just ping pong back and forth until we break this range. Either 20,475 to the upside or 20,397 to the downside. But yeah, you can absolutely play this range once you find the mother bar that you're in, and it works across all time frames. You can find a mother bar on a yearly, weekly, monthly, quarterly, all the way down to a 2 minute, and actually all the way down to, I've seen it actually occur on a 15 to 30-second chart. So the thing about the strat is it works on any ticker, any time frame. It is price action. It basically is a language for price action, and that's why it works so well. And once you learn that language, you can't unsee it. So, but yeah, just some awesome things about the strat there. And again, it's once you learn it, you just can't unlearn it. Should I order sitting out here at 57.41? Well, we're down to 38 now there on ES. I would expect that they would start buying somewhere around in these areas here, around 57.31, maybe down to 28. I've got an order there at 28, and then an order at 21, looks like. I got one at 57.27.75. Let's see if I can move it to 28. 28.50. That's good enough for me. See, I'm gonna try to get this 25K pass tonight. I don't know if I'll do it or not, but probably so. Once I get it passed, then I will go work on the wealth charts accounts. Like I said, I got 50K and 250Ks over there, and I should have been working on my Bull and Ox. It's about halfway past. Could have done that from my phone. Oh, Bull and Ox has Project X, just like Topstep X does. And I really like Project X. I like Project X because it's very, very similar um, to Trading View. So I really like that. But I put this 25K here on Quant Tower because I can copy trade to another account, but also because it's a rhythmic based account, and Quant Tower has that copy trader built in for free, and plus I really like Quant Tower, so I just was like, well, I'm just gonna work on this account tonight. And again, I may pass this one, I may not. It may be sometime tomorrow or sometime later this week. It really is of no rush, to be honest with you. Um, I'd like to get a couple more passed before I activate it, and just kind of go from there. So, but I did some math on if you did 525K accounts and did $75 a day. Um, where is the calculator on this? Yeah, so 75 times 5 is 375. So that's 375 a day times 5. That's 1875 in a week times 4. That's 7500 in a month. And that's doing 5 Apex accounts at $75 a day on the 25Ks. Obviously they have to be funded, but but yeah, that's a that's a nice chunk of change at the end of the month. It's more than I make in my job, I can tell you that. More than I make in my career. So yeah, 70 I'll take an extra $7,500 in a month just from doing 5 of the 25Ks at Apex, and you're making $75 a day, which you guys saw I did there in one trade. And I didn't even take it to Target. So that was just scalping one mini, and I mean it happened within a few seconds, really. So yeah, grab you 5 of the 25Ks at 80% off. I think it's like, if you do the rhythmic ones, I think it's going to be like $30 or something per account. So yeah, you're going to spend what, $150. And then, of course, your activation fee on all those is, you could do the monthly, which is $85 a month per account, or you could do the lifetime fee, which right now I think is 105 on the rhythmic ones. So let's just say less than $1,000 all in, and then within a month you've got $7,500. Nice little return on investment on just making $75 a day. I apologize. I have been so congested and sick. Um, and so it's almost like a bronchitis type thing, because when I get out of breath, it makes me cough more. Okay, so this is a this could maybe a TT small TTO here on the 2 minute. which means that they could potentially go back to the upside a little bit here, um, here on NQ. I'm not 100% convinced because it's more like a doji. Um, but yeah, 86 would be my stop if I was going to go long. I'm just not 100% convinced that they might not come back down and fill that gap. Ugh. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. That would have been almost 10 points right there, just real quick. But again, like I said, I just wasn't 100% convinced that they might not. But a lot of times when you see this little wick right here, you almost got to take it because that is what the strat will call TTO, which stands for triangle they out, meaning they're going to go back to the opposite side. So yeah, I wish I would have taken that, would have stopped there at 86. That's just scalping, guys. I mean, it's not, holding for longer term. It's just pure scalp. I'm gonna turn off the microphone while she's deciding to bolt. I apologize. Again, like I said, when you learn the strat, you can't unsee it. All right, I'm gonna take a stab at one micro here. Um, at least with micros, I can scale. It's you know how many counts I've blown on trying to scale with a mini? Oh my gosh, too many to count. But again, I saw that little TTO right there. Thought they might take it back to the upside. Wish I'd have taken that for sure. Because it wouldn't have taken my stop, and we, would have gotten at least 15, almost 20 points right there. Um, there on NQ. I love TTOs. Again, if you're not familiar, Rob did a fantastic video on that. I'm sure Sarah Strat Sniper has one as well. But it's just called TTO. It stands for Triangle They Out. It almost creates a mini broadening formation. And then you can, take it back the opposite direction. Now I got an issue here though, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this 2 minute left a doji. Um, and dojis are not good. Because it could go either direction. So, to minimize risk, I'm going to put a stop in. And I'm going to put it at, I know it's going to be super tight, but I would rather be tight than not on this. I'm going to put it down here around 89. Not where I want it to go, honestly, but if we don't continue back to the upside here, I mean, I could potentially get into some issues here with this price action. want it that tight. Why is this not moving? I think because I have centering on. Let's turn off centering, auto centering. Okay. I just don't like dojis for that reason because you just don't know if they're going to do this, which is an outside bar, or if they're going to come back and take out all this liquidity down here. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I know it's going to sound kind of crazy, but I'm going to get ready and exit this trade here. Even though it's super small profit, I just don't like that doji. You know what I can do? I think I would have to get into another one in order to set a stop loss. I'm just going to exit that. I just don't like that doji right there that we had, and I don't trust it. Oh, I know it's super tight. Um, I'm just trying to practice better risk management. Let's see. A 50-50 trading style, I mean, hell, I wouldn't say that. It's more based on the system of the strat. Um, it's more based on the system of the strat and tired of blowing fucking accounts. I'll just be honest with you. When you get tired of blowing accounts and spending your money on resets and starting all the way over when you were almost out of payout, you'll start getting a whole lot more risk management. Trust me on that. Yeah, I mean, I don't use indicators. I could care less about them. They do not benefit me at all. I mean, good for you if you use them and can code them. That's awesome. I have a friend who can code. Um, and he has a system that works fantastic, but I needed something that I can pretty much just focus on the chart and know um what's more than likely going to happen based upon what's happening with price action. So now this was a hammer red, so we could continue back to the upside, maybe up to 426. Maybe with a little bit of a fair value gap down here at 402. But I just didn't like that price action. That's all. Even though it's such a smaller time frame. Um, and I mean, I closed the trade in profit, so I'm fine with that. Even though it was smaller profit than I wanted. I mean, I'm less than $500 away from passing this account, so about $400 away. Um, in the past, I know me, I would have pushed and pushed and pushed, and um, I would have probably blown the account trying to pass it. So yeah, I'm just waiting. Lord, somebody in the Discord somewhere sent something that sounded kind of rough. um, and I got that announcement. I don't know what that was about. I don't know. A little thing popped up. I don't know. It didn't sound too good though. Somebody didn't sound happy. Um, Yeah, I don't even know. I'll try to figure it out later or whatever. But okay. So all right, so this is a two up here. If we break 18, then again, my expectation is probably about 28. We'll see. But this is also a pivot machine gun back to the downside because you've got five pivots. One, two, three, four, five. So that's pivot machine gun on the strat. It's but we also got five pivots to the upside. One, two, three, four, five. So it could go either direction here. Again, I'm just waiting. My impatience has gotten the better of me way too many times, and that's something I'm really, working on too, discipline wise as well. Is just being patient. 40 of you tuning in, and I super appreciate that very much. Please like and subscribe, and please use my Apex code. It's Blues Trades. That'll get you 80% off right now. How long have I been trading? Off and on, about 5 years. Started in options. Still trade them from time to time, but I prefer futures now. And unless I'm doing like some spreads or maybe an iron condor in in options. What is my edge? Learning the strat. It's what I use. I learned the strat created by Rob Smith. You can also check out Sarah Strat Sniper's channel. I learned a lot from her. The strat is free to learn. There's a whole community of people using the strat. Um, and the reason is because it's free to learn, and also it works. It works on any time frame, any ticker, anything you want to throw at it. So yeah, so that's my edge, just the strat. And try my best to stay out of chop because almost every account I've blown has been because I was impatient and trading chop. And so I just choose not to trade shop anymore. The strat calls it inside, because, or a one, because the price action is completely inside of the previous bar. And yeah, so it's just inside and going nowhere. And you'll get chopped up in that. Almost an outside bar there. They're on the 2 minute on NQ. Again, you got this pivot machine gun back to the downside. So, uh, but you also have one to the upside. We're in this mother bar range here. So until we break this with some force, then we'll just continue to stay in that range. So if you look here on the 2 minute, I want to teach you something, guy, about the strat too. If you look here on the 2 minute, zoomed in here, so this candle was outside. It took out both sides of that previous range. The strat calls that a 3. Because it's red, most of the times you're either going to get back inside green or a 2 down, which is what's happening right now. But yeah, this candle is bearish. They also call it an engulfing candle, which can be bearish or bullish. In this case, it is bearish. So we are getting a 2 down. But they're, yeah. So just again, this price action is just super choppy right now. So I'm choosing to stay out of it until we can figure out some more direction here. I just didn't like that back, upside move, because again, I saw this pivot machine gun potentially back to the downside, but I also saw one to the upside. I don't know which way they're going to take it. So yeah, just staying out of it for now. The statistics, I don't know. I have no idea. I know I've got about a 75 to 80% win rate most of the time, and I can show you that. So, um, we just have to start studying it, man. I mean, it's out there. All the information on the strat is out there. And again, it's all free to use. A lot of people use it with options. Um, I use it with futures. I don't know a whole lot. I only know of well, I know a couple other people that are using it with futures, but I don't know a lot of streamers that are using it with futures. You can check out ADEX trades on um, for options, as well as Alex's options, and then actually Sarah Strat Sniper, who is now with Ninja Trader on their show, is running it with features as well. But as far as like streamers running it, I only know one other guy that streams that runs features with the strat, but most everybody else that I know trades the strat with options. Friday would have been perfect for options because, especially in Iron Condor, because we had an inside day on NQ and ES, um, and so you could have ran an option strategy in Iron Condor, that would have paid handsomely, because we stayed in that range. I don't know anybody that has automated the strat, and I would love to for somebody to automate it. Especially on a larger time frame. But I don't know anybody that has automated the strat. Not a single person. Well, there's some indicators on TradingView for the strat. In fact, there's a few. Sure, you could just go to TradingView and type in the strat, and but yeah, so there's one called the Strat Teach Volume 2. That one will teach you the strat. So there's that one, and then I like when I first learned it, I was using candle type. Um, it's called candle type the strat. Here, let me minimize this, and I'll show you. Yeah, it's this one. Griswold Strat had one, but his was a paid one. This one is called Candle Type the Strat by Crinklebine, and so it will show you the numbers. So there's only three numbers in the strat. One which is an inside candle. Again, that price action stays entirely within the previous candle. You've got a 3, which is an engulfing candle that can be red or green. Then you've got a 2 down, which, or a 2, which is a directional candle. So you can have 2 up or 2 down, depending on the direction. You have a failed 2, which is 2 up but red in this case, generally followed by another 2 down, because this candle was bearish, also represented a TTO. And so you're going to come back through. Now you've got a 2 down green, which is bullish. Again, another TTO. They're going to go back to the opposite side. So these are all weekly candles, but the strat plays out on every single time frame, any ticker. So yeah, I mean, Lord, if you could code it and make it automated, I would be like ecstatic. Because again, I don't know anybody, and feel free to private message me, but I don't know anybody who has coded the strat auto. Fractal, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't use indicators really, so I mean, I know fractals exist, obviously, in the market, but to me, it's just price action. It's just a language for price action. All right, guys, I don't know how long I'm going to stay on here. I don't like trading chop. Um, Again, I've got orders out there that will fill me back long if they come back and take some of this price action. So, I am going to hop off here. I super appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been a great stream, in my opinion. And, but yeah, you guys please like, subscribe, and feel free to use my Apex code Blues Trades. It'll get you 80% off all the way up until the 20th. And, again, I'm just going to try to add some more 25Ks. I'm going to purchase some more tomorrow and get 5 of those total. And then once those are all funded, then $75 a day. I mean, that's $7,500 at the end of the month. So that's a nice little chunk of change. I mean, would I like to make more? Absolutely. But with a full time career, that you know that more than that more than supplements that. So anyway, but yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope all of you have a fantastic night. Um, Take your time, wait on your setups, and buy some more Apex accounts. So, all right, hope you guys have a fantastic night.